I think overall next year we are going to see a relatively slow market compared to say where we were in 2014. The effect of low oil prices is definitely having an impact on the different sectors of the housing market, but it's affecting them all a little bit differently. But overall, I think if there was one takeaway, it is going to be a slower feeling to next year than there was, say, not necessarily this year, but in 2014, 2013. So for the rental market, one of the things we've been dealing with the last couple of years is an increase in the number of rental apartments in Edmonton. And our preliminary numbers indicate that the vacancy rate in Edmonton right now has gone up to 4.2%. So we've seen quite a rise in that number, and I think a lot of that is due not necessarily on the demand side, but to a lot of new apartments coming under construction. Now we currently have between about 25 to 3,000 additional rental apartments under construction in Edmonton. So as those continue to move on the market, we're looking at the vacancy rate to remain close or even move up a little bit over the next couple of years.
What about rents? Where are they going to?
I think if you look at average rents, we are going to see a little bit more upward movement because these new units that are coming on are renting for more than, say, what the traditional stock is. But if you look at rent growth, we're already starting to see that that's slowing down. We were 5-6% even just last year, and now we're close to about the 2% mark. So this year we saw quite a pullback in resale market, and we've seen quite a rise in the number of listings on the market. Next year we expect that the resale market will likely increase a little bit, but it probably won't happen until the second half of the year, and even the increase we're looking at will be quite small. We don't expect activity to pick up until later 2016, and so it will just be a very small rise in sales activity.
Buyer's market, seller's market?
Right now, I think buyers have more advantage in the market than sellers. For sure, we are looking at longer selling times, and we're starting to see prices soften just a little bit in the market.
For 2016, will prices continue to soften?
Overall, I think we're going to see on an annual basis that prices will rise in 2016. But our forecast kind of leaves the door open for prices to soften in the last couple of months of this year and into the early months of 2016, just because we are dealing with lower demand and that higher supply. So as those start to sort of move back towards a balance, we are expecting that prices will firm up and post a very modest gain in 2016, but you may have to wait till the second half of the year to see that. On the single detached side, we are already seeing that builders have pulled back, and we're going to continue to see that next year with them pulling back on the number of houses they're starting. But in the same time, on the multifamily sector, we've had a very active this year, probably reached the second highest record of all time. So next year we're expecting a larger decline in that multifamily housing because we've seen such strong numbers this year.